do that. Yeah. So, yeah, like as far as conversations, I just mostly want to talk about like the draft, free agency, NFL offseason shit because like it's about the only thing I ever think about other than occasionally sex.
I don't
Yeah,
even think about that.
it's kind of hard to
So
think about when the draft's coming up. Is
I
that
know
next? Is
That's
that
next
that's
next
next
week.
week?
week. That's Thursday. It's
Starts
a
Yeah.
week
Thursday.
and a day from now, 8 days.
Yep.
Fuck.
Not even. It's like we start counting it down by hours. It's like 7 days and 23 hours or some shit. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. It's right here.
I'm so
I'm
excited.
fucking pumped for it.
You know, so all right. Uh you're a Packers fan.
Yeah.
I'm a Bears fan.
I was
You
about to
are
say.
a Commanders fan.
Commanders, baby.
Okay, so uh off jump. What do you like? I'll ask you first, Jake. Do you like what the Packers have done so far this offseason?
I mean I love that we got Josh Jacobs, and I don't know, like, are we allowed to cuss and stuff throughout this? And I'm gonna assume
Yeah,
you don't give a
yeah,
shit. Okay. I
yeah, yeah.
had a hard on whenever we got Xavier McKinney. I think that was
That was
the
good stuff.
best move we probably could have made.
Is that
Because our
true?
whole everything on the offense is solid. You can't, like, we don't have a top receiver. Like, I mean, Wicks showed signs, Dobbs showed, like, everyone showed signs throughout the season, which, I mean, I'm okay with. I don't think we need a receiver. Running back room, I know Jones is 29 now, but getting a Josh Jacobs, who didn't perform very well last season, and then getting rid of Jones, I'm not a huge fan of that. But I mean, Jones is bound for regression at some point, but he'll probably shit on us twice this year. So,
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
I
He
mean,
goes straight to the Vikings.
yeah, like literally like 2 days later. I can't
Yeah.
think. I don't think we made any too many other moves. I know, like, we re-signed, or we got back AJ Dillon. We lost Darnell Savage, which I'm okay with. He made like one good play this year, and it was against the fucking Cowboys in the playoffs. So that's really not all that impressive.
Fuck the
Uh,
Cowboys.
Amen. But I mean, I really think our main thing we need for the draft would be either linebacker, maybe D tackle, and probably definitely something in the secondary, like another cornerback.
Right. All right, cool. I'll just ask you, Mr. Good Nick. Uh, what how do you like what the Commanders have done so far this offseason? Are you a fan of the things that they've done?
I love it.
Okay.
We we blew everything up, and I couldn't be happier with the moves we made. Bringing in a whole new linebacker core. I'm really excited to see what Frankie Lavuu does. All right, see you, Jacob. I Cool. No, I'm excited to see how this defense plays under new head coach Dan
Yeah.
Quinn. Um, I am very happy we did not go out and get Bill Belichick. I'm very happy with that. I 10 years ago, great, but we're in the now, and I didn't want him. The only move I think is questionable is trading Sam Howell.
Yeah.
I I don't like that. I think we should have held on to him. We did not need to sign Marcus Mariota, and I feel like if we could have held on to Howell and even having the number 2 overall pick, I mean, you keep Howell, that opens the door to moving back. And there's teams out there with multiple first round picks. I mean,
Yeah.
You got Arizona 2 spots behind you. They have 2 firsts. You got Minnesota with 2 firsts, and they don't have a quarterback. They'd pay a pretty penny for that. I mean, I don't think they're gonna go out and rock with Sam Darnold this year, but hey, if they're rocking with Sam, then fuck it, we ball, I guess.
I do think that at least to start the year, the Vikings will be with Sam Darnold as their guy under center. I think that they signed him because he knows KOC's system. He's been in it. It's a variation of the Shanahan system, which is apparently what everybody's going to run now because the
Yeah.
NFL's always been a copycat league. Um, you said you didn't like the move to get rid of Sam Howell. I thought it was interesting that they did get rid of Sam Howell because he showed some signs of maybe being worth something. Uh, and like you said, it would have opened up the possibility to trade back. The thing, they're going to take a quarterback. Like it's not an open secret. It's the same as with Chicago. Like it's not an open secret what they're taking and who they're taking. Uh, at this point, it doesn't seem to be much of a secret, at least from anything that I've seen, that the Commanders are probably going to take reigning Heisman winner Jaden Daniels, right?
I've heard a lot of different things.
I
I've
have too, but I that's
in
the
the
big one I keep hearing.
in the past month, I've heard everything from Drake May, who outside of Washington, I've heard nothing about.
Yeah.
I've heard maybe Minnesota, but that's if they move up. I've I've heard May, I've heard Daniels, I've heard a lot of smoke about JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if the Washington Commanders decide that they want to take JJ McCarthy at number 2, I don't want to say I'm going to do something stupid, but I'm going to do something stupid because that would be you might as well have gone out and signed Drew Lock
Yeah,
because if you bring in JJ McCarthy, I mean you're going backwards. You
I
get
I
you gave away a 4,000 yard passer in Sam Howell for a half
yeah.
eaten bag of Funyuns. So like why would we take JJ McCarthy, who has shown me absolutely nothing? I mean, he went, I think, 11 for 18 and a buck 18 for passing yards in the national championship this past year.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not who I
Um
want lead my franchise.
I don't know. Look, I don't know. I don't watch college football. The thing that I do is once draft season starts to kick in, like which is for, Bears fans, we're never in the playoffs, so draft season is immediately after week 17. You're just thinking
Absolutely.
about who we getting, who we getting. So what I like to do is I just watch every throw that these guys made in this last year to see what they, every throw and every play that they make. I want to see how they process. I want to see how they handle pressure, how they handle I'm not looking for highlight reels. I want to see them in action against good teams and maybe even have a bad game. I want to see where the floor is. We know where the ceiling is. That's why they're being talked about is where they're being talked about. But I want to see how bad are they? How bad can they be? And it kind of worked in my favor a few years back when it was Zach Wilson was rising up the ranks, kind of like JJ McCarthy is right now. I
Yep.
watched his game tape and I was like, okay, so he's got a great arm, and when he plays against nobodies, they're doing fine. But the second they play against anybody and they're able to get any pressure on him, he just bails out and hucks that ball, and he doesn't give a fuck where it goes.
Nope.
And like so far in the NFL, that's exactly who he is. That's all he is if he doesn't have a clean pocket, he's just awful, just terrible.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of dirty pockets in the NFL because the offensive line play is kind of terrible right now. And so when I'm looking at quarterbacks, I want to, especially like as a Bears fan, I've seen nothing but bad quarterback play aside from a few bits and pieces here or there because I guess our franchise just has no idea how to evaluate that kind of thing. Unlike some motherfucker I know who happens to be a Packers fan and has known literally nothing in his entire life but football excellence from the quarterback position.
It
Nothing.
is, yeah,
It's been an honor to say the
yeah,
least.
It's been
yeah. I
an
bet.
honor. You're
Yeah,
an asshole.
and the only thing that worry, like I like Love played great for the final 7, 8 games, including in the playoffs. He threw what I think he threw 2 interceptions. One wasn't his fault against the 49ers, but I mean, I think Rodgers does just as bad, if not worse, or just like he probably does worse against the 49ers that game.
Bro, I don't know. He's been pretty weak in the postseason. But the thing that I loved was that the last interception was a Brett Favre play. It was the most Brett Favre interception. He's sprinting to his right and he chucks that motherfucker across the middle, just like the NFC Championship game with the Vikings when he blew it against the Saints.
Yeah.
When Favre did that shit. That was Favre in a nutshell. That's why like I hated Favre, but I kind of liked him because sometimes he'd give you a chance. Like he'd throw one right to your safety, and your safety could take it to the house. But Aaron Rodgers never threw picks.
No,
Never. I think he might have
it's
thrown like three against the Bears in his entire career.
well, what Rodgers had like a season where he had like 2 or 3, and then he had I know his MVP season,
Yeah.
his second most recent one, he had 4. Like there's been multiple
Yep.
seasons where he's thrown like way less, well under 10. But it's almost like some points he was too conservative with the ball, which is kind of or he was just too damn accurate, which is also kind of true. But if Love can be a little more ballsy sometimes than Rodgers, but maybe not have quite the turnovers that Favre did, I'll be okay with that.
He's
I don't know.
fearless.
I think he's got to be a little bit conservative. I mean, you can't win a football game if you don't have the ball.
Oh no,
It's
100%.
very true. Very true. Yeah,
But like I feel like there was sometimes like mainly in like Rodgers last season, but also he didn't have any trust in any of those receivers.
no.
Zero trust.
Toward the end of
Feel
the
like
season, he did.
Yep.
yeah. He started hitting Watson once Watson came back and got healthy and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think I feel like he was a little conservative, which Rodgers did not really play all that well that last season, but I do think him on the Jets this year, I do think he's going to bounce back. Maybe not to the full extent, but I think he will play better than his last season in Green Bay.
I mean, you know, 40 years old off an Achilles injury, that's a new animal. If he comes back and he's anything close to where he's been in his career, that'd be pretty crazy. I know that surgical technique has improved and all that shit. Because it used to be if you had an Achilles, say goodbye. Like they might
Yeah.
come back, but they'll never be the same. Do you remember, are you old enough to remember Mark Mulder with the Cardinals?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
He was like a constant Cy Young Award, adjacent pitcher with the Athletics. Comes to the Cardinals, pitches pretty well for a minute, tears his Achilles, tries to come back, really never was even close to what he was. And
Yeah.
like a few years later, all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, we have these new techniques, and people are good." So I was happy about that because fuck that guy. I don't want him to have success while he's playing for St.
I
Louis.
remember Mark Mulder being pretty subpar
Yeah,
on the Cardinals.
once he had that injury, it was over. He couldn't hack it, and like you know, I think it was his plant foot or whichever. It can't be either one. It's gonna suck for
Oh,
a pitcher when every movement is so precise and shit. And the same thing for a quarterback. I don't know. I I hate him. I hate Aaron Rodgers. And I said it before. I said it the other day on the podcast. I hate Aaron Rodgers more than I hate cancer. So, like, as far as he goes, like, fuck him forever and always. He ruined my life twice a year, if not more, because I watched him tear my heart out in the fucking playoffs in the NFC Championship game, the worst game of my entire life. I watched that guy do that shit. Fuck him forever. I hate him.
Uh,
Um,
My favorite moment of that game was the BJ Raji dancing in
Fuck
the end
you.
zone.
Fuck BJ Raji. He's a pussy.
I
Big
was so
fat
upset when I
bitch.
heard that man retired. He retired
Ah,
young, like
Yeah, he
he
was like
did.
29.
yeah,
Yeah. It's hard, dude. It's so hard to have any kind of a long career when your entire job is just boom, hit the other guys who are just as big as you as hard as you can and try
yep,
because he's a nose tackle. His whole thing is chaos. He's not there to rush the passer or shit. He's there to open up those lanes. So he's grabbing the center, he's grabbing the guard, he's grabbing all these guys, and he's just taking them all on. Whew. You see some of those guys that last like 15 years, and I don't know how the fuck they do that. It's like look at Calais Campbell. He's not a nose, but he might as well be because they line him up at nose all the time. He's like 38 years old. He's still fucking awesome. He's a god. He's been sent from Mount Olympus. They were like,
yeah, no,
"Hey, here's a real life Hercules,
I think that's Aaron
but not like
Donald.
the shitty one." Uh, I don't know.
Speaking of
So
Achilles injuries, how do we think Kirk Cousins is going to do it down there in Atlanta?
dog shit.
Really?
I think he's gonna be dog shit because he's been playing better than he ever had. Like the last 2 years, he was playing better than he ever had in his entire life. Tears his Achilles. He was already like I don't want to say he's limited physically, but in terms of physical tools, you're not putting Kirk Cousins up there with guys like Aaron Rodgers, who had a rifle for an arm, who could hit a guy on a dime 45 yards down the field. That's not Kirk Cousins' game. Kirk Cousins' game is, oh, there's Justin Jefferson. I'll throw it to him. That's a great game plan. They don't have Justin Jefferson. They got Drake London, but I mean,
And Kyle Pitts and Bijan.
who's Kyle Pitts? Who are you talking about? Who's Kyle Pitts? I've never heard of Kyle Pitts.
I think Falcons are gonna come out firing on all cylinders
Yeah.
this year.
I'm sorry, I was
I,
just doing my Arthur Smith impression. I've never heard of Kyle Pitts. I don't know who the fuck that is.
it's very. I mean, it really. I feel like a lot of it depends on how much he recovered. If he plays like he did in Minnesota, I could see them being pretty good. But I mean, it also depends on how many primetime games they have this year too.
Yeah,
Plus the Falcons, so like a couple on Thursday, I'm sure.
Well, they might have a couple more since Kirk Cousins is
Since
down
Big
there.
Money Kirk is in town, the star
Kirko
power of Kirk
change.
Cousins. Is that where we're at in the world? Is the star power of Kirk Cousins?
hey man,
I
I'd
mean,
love Cap Kirk back in Washington, man. I ain't gonna cap.
Come
I
on, man.
love to have him
you
back.
see the
Fine.
games they put on Thursday nights, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Hey
Hey,
man, I think we just need a Washington versus Chicago rubber match on Thursday night.
hey, that's what we get like every year so far.
Yeah,
Every
I
year
mean,
of
hey,
Justin Fields' career.
the last one wasn't great, but fuck it, run it back.
I mean, you'll probably get a Jaden Daniels versus
Oh yeah.
Caleb Williams
Hey,
on Thursday night.
hey,
Whoa,
hey,
hold
no,
on. Who says that they're taking Caleb Williams? Hold
yeah.
on.
Who says they're not taking Drake
Whoa.
May?
Yeah, they might be taking Drake May. If they take Drake May, I'm done. I'm out.
I wouldn't.
I'm
I
over it.
wouldn't be. I wouldn't be. Drake
Look,
May's a baller.
so you
I am. I mean, like ego wise, Caleb Williams. Ego wise, I feel like he's like Rodgers. I'm not. I mean, if he plays anywhere near like Rodgers did in his prime, then fucking you guys are lucky as hell. But ego wise, I feel like Caleb Williams is slightly like Rodgers.
Caleb Williams. I'm an Oklahoma fan, so I got Caleb Williams from the start. Kid can play.
Yeah,
End of the day, he can fucking play.
yeah.
But to what Jacob said, the ego is too big.
And also, like, another thing, like, once again, like Rodgers, whenever he has a bad moment, it seems like, I mean, like, throws a bad pick, something like that. It seems like Rodgers got in his head. And especially in the playoffs, in big moments, Rodgers would get in his head and wouldn't play well after that. And I just something I can see that from Caleb Williams too. But I mean, I
Look,
mean, who the hell knows? I mean, the dude could be, he could make Patrick Mahomes look like dog water.
Okay, I
all
was not
right.
go that
Okay,
far.
hold on. All right. Hold on. I
Pump the
mean,
brakes on that one.
technically, he could be that good, but in order to be that good, he'd have to be, well, he'd have to be what Patrick Mahomes has been times two. You know what I mean? And like, I don't even know what the fuck that would look like. But I'm willing to
He,
find out. I'd love to find out. That would
he
be
would have to go out and
great.
win it
You
all his
know,
first year.
the
Yeah.
the thing that needs to happen is that Chicago just needs to take Drake May. Let let Caleb Williams come home. Let him come
I
home.
kind of I kind of had a feeling you might have meant that.
But hey,
Um,
what if the Bears surprise us? What if the Bears take Jaden Daniels or JJ McCarthy? What are you doing if they take JJ McCarthy?
oh, I'm out. Look. Here's so full disclosure. I was on the keep Fields train. It's not because
Oh,
I don't like Caleb Williams as a prospect. Like Caleb Williams is the best prospect I've ever seen. And like I've been doing this thing where I watch all the throws for a while, and yeah, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like Caleb Williams at the collegiate level because the first, and I really fucking hate saying this. The first time I watched him was actually the beginning of this season. I watched a couple of games that he had from his Heisman campaign, and I saw him out there doing Patrick Mahomes shit, and I'm like, that guy looks like he even kind of looks like Pat Mahomes with pads on, like he's about the same size dimensions. He's got like a weird, almost like he's running with a toddler with a diaper full of shit, like his wide base running thing. Like I'm like, he looks like Patrick Mahomes, I'm not saying he's going to be. I don't believe that for a second. Like this is what we're seeing. This is Michael Jordan level great, right? Like this is LeBron level great that we're seeing from Patrick Mahomes. Uh, like I don't believe that that's what's going to happen. I think that more likely what we're seeing is like floor could be somewhere in the Kyler Murray, and if that's the case, then he's still going to end up being the best quarterback the Bears have ever had. But yeah, I was on the keep Fields train.
I feel like if you give Fields a couple more years with those weapons,
Yeah,
I mean,
that
who
was
knows
my
how long Allen and who knows how long Allen will really be the way he
well,
is, but he had a great season last year.
yeah.
it also
Look at who
boils
was
down.
throwing to him too. He had
It, al-
Easton Stick throwing to him.
True.
it also boils down to. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Chicago had one good offensive lineman.
No, I mean they're
They had
they've got a couple of they've got a couple of decent pieces this year. Darnell Wright they just drafted, he's pretty good.
Yeah,
Braxton Jones
right.
has been solid, not great. But Tevin Jenkins is a good guard. The big problem has for Justin forever has been play calling, lack of receivers other than this year with DJ Moore, and that was it. And honestly, the run game has been pretty weak other than him. So it's like I look at him and I see potential for greatness, and I think the fucking Steelers just got a huge steal, right? Um, I don't know. Like I'm super biased. I love the kid. Like when I watched his game tape from Ohio State, I liked him more than everybody, including Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And I never thought for a second we had a chance to draft him. And then we drafted him, and I was like, you talked about, blowing your load watching whatever the hell the other day. Oh, McKinney, picking up
Yeah.
McKinney. Dude, when we drafted Justin Fields, I was like, it's over. We finally got a good one. And then we ruined it. And we traded him away because that's what we do. We ruin things.
That I feel like part of it too could be too that a lot of teams they just send in these top prospect quarterbacks right away and send them out on the field, which I mean works out for some people for sure. Like, did Herbert start his first? Yeah, he won Rookie of the Year, but like it works out
He
for
didn't
some.
start right.
But
He didn't start right away.
oh yeah,
And the only
Tyrod
reason,
Taylor.
and the only reason he won Rookie of the Year is because Chase Young decided to tear Joe Burrow's ACL.
That is true too. Well, I mean,
Well,
also Joe
also, he
Burrow too.
played fucking great, though. He came in after what? Like, it was like 2 games of Tyrod, and then they stabbed him in the fucking ribs and
Stabbed him in the
broke
lung.
them shits.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
didn't they
no,
puncture a lung?
they they did some shit like that. Yeah, they punctured his lung or whatever it was. A freak thing. All of a sudden, this rookie's got to go in, no prep, get in there. It's against the Chiefs, and it's
Yeah.
not like their defense wasn't as good as it is this year. But it's still Steve Spagnuolo running that shit, and you're a rookie quarterback. He's gonna fucking send everything, disguise everything. He's pretty good at that shit. He's proven that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
here comes Justin Herbert. He says, I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to go ahead and throw for like 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Suck my dick. He's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking nuts. But I mean, like I feel like a lot of the time, like I feel like a lot of quarterbacks that are now potential busts or are busts. Like me, I mean, like maybe Mac Jones or someone like that, or even Justin Fields. Now, I wouldn't say he's a bust yet because he's shown greatness. I mean, the Bears played great in the second or good in the second half of the season, but I feel like if they would have sat a year or two and then gone out there, they could have been great right away or good, at least solid right away.
What do you know about good quarterbacks sitting for a couple of years or whatever? What do you
It's
know
it,
about that? You don't know shit.
I have never seen it in my life.
You like I
But I
fucking
mean,
hate you.
it's like I mean, you almost think about it like everyone questioned the love draft, which if we didn't draft him still, if we would have drafted a receiver, who knows? Maybe that would have been us actually winning an NFC championship or something.
Yeah.
But
Probably not, but I love the ambition.
yeah, no, or
You guys, you guys got mollywopped.
yeah, definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty bad. But I mean, just I feel like if Love would have gone out there right away and started, I feel like he would not probably have been good because he was just so raw and potential. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
who knows?
you sit behind Rodgers. You're gonna learn a thing or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is also like if like guys that come in, we'll say like Justin Fields. Who was your guys' starter? Was it before Fields?
The Red Rifle, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you sit behind Andy. I mean, you might learn a couple things from Andy Dalton, but
Yeah, I don't want
you
to
ain't
shit
gonna
on
learn
Andy
as
Dalton.
much.
He's been doing it a long time, but he's
He had
fucking
a
Andy
couple. He had
Dalton.
a couple good years with Cincy.
Yeah, it helps to have AJ Green and a good run game, and
Did he have
a whole
Ocho
host of
Cinco
playmakers.
too?
No, no, I think he had been gone by then. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
That was sexy.
Yeah, it was recording in progress.
Got me all fucking hot and
um,
bothered.
All hot and bothered. Uh,
I just want to.
all
I just
right.
want to go. I just want to go on record, real quick.
Yep.
Fuck the Cowboys.
Yeah,
fuck
fuck
the
the
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Hell yeah. Are you as happy as I am that they have done absolutely nothing this offseason?
Hey, they signed their
Not
punt.
only
They signed their long snapper.
hey,
They did. Hey,
they brought in a running back too. I forgot who it was. It was from the Rams. He's dog shit though. I
oh,
say that like I could go out
Was
there
it
and
Foreman?
no, it wasn't I don't think it was Foreman, but I know they signed someone from the Rams.
I'll look it up.
I don't remember who it was, but he's not good.
wouldn't have
But
been Kyron Williams. So
no, it wasn't Kyron.
no.
They signed Royce Freeman.
It was okay.
Was it Royce Freeman? Holy shit!
That guy had
Royce
like
Dire
was that
Straits.
one great season or one good season for the Broncos?
Let's pump the
I wouldn't
brakes
even
on
say
good.
good.
I thought he had a good season one year with like, and he might have been. No, I don't even think he
He
was a
might have had a
1,000-yard
couple of
rusher.
good games or some shit, but
Yeah,
he was a guy. The only
around the
reason I know is because I drafted him fairly early in a couple of fantasy leagues, and he just did dog shit. I think he's the guy who lost his job to Philip Lindsay.
Yeah.
Undrafted Philip Lindsay. Like, oh, cool. That's neat. That's a cool story. Fuck Philip Lindsay. I drafted the wrong guy. Awesome.
to go back to your point, not only am I happy the Cowboys haven't done a damn thing, I'm happy that we stole like 90% of their free agents that were coming out this year.
Who'd you guys all steal?
We stole a defensive end, we stole one of their linemen, we stole their defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, you guys stole Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone that we could have gotten from Dallas, we did.
Did you like the Cliff Kingsbury hiring? That feels
No.
like a no.
The only
If it
reason
takes you more than 5 seconds, it's a no.
so the only reason I don't like it is because it makes me think we're not taking Drake May.
Hmm.
I want Drake May.
Do
End of
you
the day,
think that? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
end of the day, gun to my head, I want Drake May.
Okay.
Um, do I think we have a shot in hell at Caleb Williams? No.
We
Williams,
trade way too much.
Caleb Williams is a Kingsbury guy. So the initial thought I had when we brought him in was we have a shot at getting Williams. We
Yeah.
don't. There's not a snowball chance in hell.
No.
Unless the Bears are stupid.
They are.
So that
They're very, very stupid.
it kind of leans the needle more pointing towards Jaden Daniels because he's the next closest thing.
The thing that I love
in
about
terms of play style.
sure.
Because does he have the arm that Williams has? No. But he's mobile. And that's about it. I mean, that's about all I got. But
So Drake May.
not as mobile as Jaden Daniels.
I mean,
Oh,
Daniels is
no.
pretty damn accurate.
He is.
I mean, he is.
He is.
I was all aboard the trade for Justin Fields train.
I can't believe nobody did it. You know what I mean? Like to me, if the Bears are stupid enough to get rid of the guy for a conditional 4, it's not even a 4 right now. It's technically a 6.
Yeah.
If you're willing, like if somebody came in and was like, "Here, we'll just give you a 3," we'd have taken that, right? Because like, at that point, why wouldn't you? And yeah, I don't understand because say you're like if you're the Bears, like what I wanted them to do was keep Justin Fields, trade back, get a fucking mess of picks from somebody like the Commanders. That's what I want. I wanted all their picks moved back so that they can leapfrog anybody else who wants them. Because if you were going to get Caleb, you had to have the one. Everyone knew that. So my thought was, you trade back, you get a mess of picks, you still have 2 or 3 from the Manders of the Patriots, and then you take Marvin Harrison Jr. and you smile and you go, we've got a
Yep.
3-headed monster, and Justin Fields gets a chance to finally flex and show what he can do. It would have been perfect, but that's not what it is. And while I was on that train, it wasn't because of anything that has to do with Caleb Williams. I'm just kind of the belief that a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. It's like I know that Justin Fields can play at this level, and as good as I think Caleb Williams is going to be, I don't know for sure that he can play at this level because he's never done it. Is
Yeah.
my point.
Yeah,
So
I mean, seeing what the Bears got for Fields made me want to take the third that we got from Seattle and throw it to Chicago.
yeah, yeah.
Because essentially we don't lose any picks.
Nope. Yeah,
And
you're playing with house money at that point, and you get a quarterback, and you could take the next best player, or you could just trade back and get a shitload of picks and
exactly.
add a rusher later, get a corner, get whatever you need. They got plenty of things they need. The only thing they don't really need is wide receiver, and it
Wide
just so
receiver and
happens that this is an
linebacker.
amazing wide receiver class. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's just the way I would have went about it if I had any say whatsoever would have been trade for Fields and then pick up any phone call regarding that number 2 pick. Trade back to a team, like I said, a team that has multiple firsts. Minnesota, Arizona. Hell,
yeah.
I don't see Arizona trading up 2 spots for nothing, essentially.
Yeah, I don't.
But
They're gonna hang on to Kyler.
yeah, they're going to hang on to Kyler, and I think that at 4, I think if the price is right, they trade out.
I think they're gonna trade out.
Um,
Well, they might take Marvin and just run with it, but
exactly.
I could see them, especially if say if JJ McCarthy leapfrogs everybody in terms of like leapfrogs either May or Daniels, and he's the 2, which I don't think that's what's going to happen, but if he leapfrogs either of those guys and they're available at 3, the Vikings will come calling pretty hard, I think,
Yeah,
But
I don't see how Minnesota wouldn't be on the phone with 3 firsts.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then
I yeah,
and if I'm Arizona, that's no brainer. I mean, that
yeah.
gives you
Oh,
3 that gives you 3 first round picks.
they need
Hmm.
so much in Arizona.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
like you said just a little bit ago, I mean, this wide receiver class is loaded.
Loaded, absolutely loaded.
I mean,
Like
That's the whole reason T. Higgins didn't leave Cincinnati is because they weren't gonna trade him for less than he's worth, and nobody was gonna trade for what he's worth because I can just in the second round I can get somebody like maybe Xavier Legette who's insanely athletic, insanely explosive. Like if he can develop and you can turn him into what he could be a monster. He could be the next DK Metcalf style player. He's
yeah,
not as tall, but like he's a fucking freak.
he is. I think I counted my mock. I have 8 first round wide receivers.
Yeah,
wow.
Because I
it's
mean,
gonna be a lot.
I could see 3 in the top 10.
I think
Mhm.
there will be 3 in the top 10.
I got 3 in the
Who,
top 10 alone. I mean, I got Harrison, I got Malik Neighbors, and I got Rome Odunze.
Yeah.
who do you think
Hmm.
the Bears take with that was the 9th pick?
If I have my druthers, depending on who falls, like if by some miracle Marvin Harrison Jr. is leapfrogged by Malik Neighbors and Roma Dunze, which could happen. These guys are really good, and there's a lot of people that
Mhm.
really love Neighbors, and there's a lot of people who really love Adunze, and they're not maybe so keen on the fact that Harrison hasn't been privy to working out and doing that kind of stuff. Maybe they're like, oh, we'll teach him a lesson. I hope they do. I hope he falls to the Bears. And oh my God, if we come away from this with Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr., you guys won't see me because I'll die. I'll have a heart attack and I'll come at the same time. It'll be a major orgasm that leads to a heart attack.
A
Failure.
hell of a way
Done.
to go out.
Oh, hell yeah. That's the only
Couldn't
way I
think of a
want to
better
go out.
way.
But I don't see that happening. I really like. There's no way Marvin Harrison Jr. makes it past 6. Like
No,
if we're
I
gonna
don't
get
think he
him,
I
you
makes
think
it
got to
past
if
move up.
5.
he's
I don't
I
think he
think
makes it past 5.
he's I think if he's there when the Chargers go on the board, I think he's getting taken probably.
Because
I can see. Yeah,
what if Harbaugh's just blowing smoke up everyone's ass on McCarthy?
yeah.
I
I
mean, think about it. He got rid of everyone in that wide receiver room that's worth a
right,
damn.
right. Yeah.
So I mean, it's almost a lock that the Chargers are taking a wide receiver at 5.
Yeah, the only way I say it doesn't happen is if, and this is pretty realistic, say it's QB 1, 2, 3, Cardinals stay at 4, take whichever receiver they like the most, because I think that's if you stay at 4, that's what you're doing. You're taking either
Yes.
Marv or Neighbors. And then 5 comes along, here comes the Chargers. I can see them trading back because they do need receiver help, but also they need a lot of shit. They let all those receivers go. You could trade back, and like we said, this is an incredibly deep receiver class. If they
Oh
could
yeah.
move back to like even the mid first round, you still got a pretty good chance of getting a really good wide receiver.
I
Oh
think
yeah.
the,
I
the
think
Chargers literally need everything besides a quarterback.
Yep, it's very well,
yeah.
and two overpriced old ass edge rushers. They got those guys, but that's about
They
it.
they do.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't see a scenario where the Chargers don't take a wide receiver wherever they are in
yeah.
this draft. I think if the Cardinals do stay put and they take Harrison, then I think that's when we're going to see Minnesota move up for
Hmm.
whatever quarterback. Because I don't see if the Cardinals are sold on Harrison, I don't see them trading out,
Yeah.
no matter how much they need help. Um, I think they're gonna see Harrison as maybe like a DeAndre Hopkins
I
type player.
mean, yeah, a stretched out DeAndre Hopkins would be pretty sweet. 6'4", 6'3", whatever he is.
Yeah, I mean he's got the size. Um,
Hmm.
I don't see the only way I see Arizona trading out is if someone's coming knocking on their door with 3 first-round picks
Yeah.
plus more. Because I mean they're not gonna do it for just 3 firsts. It's going to be more than that.
Eh, 3 firsts is a lot. You know what I mean?
It is,
Um,
and I mean they didn't even get that in return last year when Houston traded up
yeah,
to the 3.
no.
Um,
Man, I bet they thought they were getting a great pick. They didn't know CJ Stroud was going to be the second coming of Jesus Christ.
dude, no
Yeah.
kidding. CJ Stroud's the first successful Ohio State quarterback since probably
Hold
ever.
on. Hey, hold on. Don't forget about Art Schlichter, okay? He gambled
Yeah,
away his career, but he was terrible. I'm sorry.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
You never heard of Art
Um,
Schlichter?
no, dude.
Come on, bro.
Maybe if I saw a picture,
You didn't know. There's no way.
but but no, it's just there's so many. I personally think there's so many interesting scenarios
Mm.
that could happen. I mean, who's to say the Patriots don't trade out at 3?
I think they could, because you talk about a team that needs everything. They literally need everything.
I mean, they're going to need a
Anything
new
they
wide
have
receiver
is
one.
not great.
Yeah,
They
they're
need
going to need a new wide
everything.
receiver. Juju just put his dick on Snapchat, so I mean,
Did he?
yeah, it's
Well,
been
I mean,
all over Twitter,
that-
man.
he'll still be
Juju
around.
did?
You can
Yeah,
put your dick out there now. It's okay.
but I just think he's fallen into the Antonio Brown path.
Or just Drake.
Yeah, but Drake
They're
doesn't have
going full
CTE.
CTE.
You don't know what Drake has, all right? Hey, he's from Canada. They could have
He's got a
anything.
horse cock. That's what he's got. He's
Yeah, that
fucking
dude's hung.
young.
It had to have been like I feel like he leaked it on purpose and it was fake.
Oh,
Somehow he faked his dick.
hey man, it's all about the angles, right?
From what I understand, like I haven't seen my penis in years. So yeah, I I'm here. I'm sure it's all about lighting. That's how Pixar does their magic. So, um, Dixar. Hey, we start a whole new company, Dixar.
Be a great porn site.
We will digitally enhance your PP and put it for you to send to all the people that you're already sending it to because you're creepy and everybody gets your dick pics now.
I need it. Sign me up.
Uh, I think we're a little off track. I'm sorry about that.
I mean, I
Moving
think
back to
Drake Stevens
serious.
is right on track.
Speaking of Drake and penis, what do we think about Drake May? Probably go. I keep hearing, and again, like around this time of year, you're gonna hear the smoke screens. Like there's all those like it's like as long ago as when Dan Marino fell in the draft because there were some anonymous rumors that Dan Marino was daring to smoke the reefer in college. And so once
How
that
dare
happened, it
he?
was like, whoa, we can't touch Dan Marino. So he falls to the second to last pick in the first round. And oh, the Dolphins are just like, huh, he does reefer, huh? This is Miami. That's little league shit. We do cocaine here, son. This is Miami in the 80s. We don't give
Yeah,
a fuck about weed.
everyone was
Yeah.
doing crack and coke in the '80s in Miami.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's what you do. I mean, why
Doing
wouldn't
it
you?
now.
You know?
Yeah, I mean,
I think
I
I think whoever gets Drake May is going to be very happy for the next 10 years.
Possibly.
I
Um,
just I like his game. I like his game.
I feel like the same thing with Jaden Daniels too. I mean, unless he gets Anthony Richardson type.
I'm not just not sold on Jaden Daniels. Yeah, he won the Heisman. Big whoop.
I mean,
I
Joe
mean, there's been a
Burrow.
lot of bad players that have won the Heisman.
Name five.
Well, Johnny Manziel for one.
Hey,
Did he win the
Johnny
Heisman?
Manziel was great. Yeah, he did. As a freshman.
Yeah, he won. I mean, how did that pan out for him?
Wasn't he a freshman? Or was he a sophomore? I don't remember. But he won it when he was really young. And how did it pan out for him? What do you mean, man? He made millions of dollars. Panned out great for him. Not so much for the Browns, but
I just
you
meant
know,
career wise.
you know what? He gets to not have CTE probably. I mean, he probably
Yeah,
already does.
according to podcast I heard, he's happier than ever. He wanted out of the NFL.
Well, yeah, he just wanted to
He
party.
Yeah,
he hated being in the NFL.
I could see that to be honest. It
E-
seems like
Even
you almost have to
even
have a
even
cult
whenever he was in the
mindset.
Canadian Football League, he hated it. He just wanted to do other things with his life, which was
Yeah.
probably titties and blow. But you know,
I mean, should I throw away my career for that?
I
I'm
already
kidding.
have.
Don't fire me, Total Titanium.
So do you want to see? I have this whole. This is a lot of writing. This is my scouting report that I have for the quarterbacks. I've watched. I've watched most of them. Like I haven't watched any like Joe Milton or any shit like that because I know he's not going until way, 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 way late as a flyer. Somebody's gonna be like, that guy can literally throw a ball like 90 yards. We'll take a shot
I,
at him.
I mean, he can
Um,
ball.
yeah,
yeah,
like
he's
I've
like a
watched him
third or
play.
fourth round pick, ain't he?
I think he'll be a
no,
fourth.
I
I
don't
think he'll
think
be a
so.
fourth.
I think he falls past five. I mean, people are desperate, so maybe they'll take a shot at him. But there's
But I
enough
mean,
good quarterbacks that
the I could see upwards of 5, 6 quarterbacks in the first round.
I could too. Yeah.
I mean, I got Denver taking one.
Mm.
Um, I wouldn't completely shut the door on like hell. I wouldn't shut the door on Tennessee taking one. Is Levis the answer?
I don't know if he is or not, but so speaking of Will Levis, Drake May, from my scouting report, uh, it kind of started before all of this shit happened, but so I don't fully understand why he's falling because the tape's been there the whole time and people were still about it. But for me, uh, I said the tape shows some high quality stuff, but it's a little inconsistent. And as per usual with a spread concept type offense or an air raid type offense, it's really hard to totally evaluate his decision making. Um, but like in terms of his actual talent, you're right. Like his arm strength great. His arm talent, the ability to throw from different angles, the ability to throw with a dirty pocket, whereas he doesn't get to set his feet and have that perfect throw. Like he can throw off platform. He can make all the plays you want. Consistency was definitely a big issue. I don't know if that's because his offensive line and his receivers were subpar, if the system just didn't really fit him. Whatever it was pretty inconsistent to see. I see a lot of talent, and this is going to sound like an insult, but when I watch him, I see a little bit more of a more polished version of Will Levis from last year, because I watched Levis's tape, and Kentucky had nothing. It was kind of like watching Jay Cutler when he played at Vanderbilt, when they had bucket, because it's Vanderbilt. What are they going to have? You know, and Kentucky, unless it's basketball, they're not getting the top guys typically, you know. So, um, watching Levis, same thing. Great arm strength, all the arm angles. He could throw off platform. There's not a throw he was afraid to make. And also, like Levis and May, both of them, they're both big, strong, powerful dudes, and they run the ball. They're actually a lot better runners than you would have ever given credit. And like for them, I see a ceiling in that same range as like a Josh Allen, in terms of like he can be a little bit of a dual threat. You could have him run read option. You could have him run just straight up QB power in a goal line set, because once he gets going, he's going to lower them shoulders and it's going to be hard to hit him. Um, yeah, I that's where I see him as, is kind of a Will Levis potential. We don't know what he's going to be, but they have very similar traits from what I saw.
I mean, what you just said there about Josh Allen, I'd be happy with that.
Right, right. I
As
feel like
long
that's kind of where the ceiling could be.
as long as he doesn't make as many mistakes.
Yeah,
Allen turns the ball over a lot.
yeah.
Fail. So if May can come out and he can be Josh Allen minus the turnovers, sign me up. I don't care if we don't. I mean, I'm okay. I'm sure Allen's going to sneak a Super Bowl in.
Right.
I'm sure the Buffalo Bills have a plan. I mean, getting rid of Diggs, there's got to be something there.
Yeah.
But he'll get his eventually.
Maybe.
It may not be with Buffalo. It may
You
not
know
be
the
with
history
Buffalo.
of Buffalo, right? I was
I
gonna
mean,
say,
yeah.
if he's in
They lost
Buffalo,
4 in a
there's
row.
not
One of
much
them
of a
died.
good chance.
I feel
One
like
of
he
them died.
fits Buffalo so well, though.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
As long as Buffalo plays anyone not in the NFC East in the Super Bowl, they're fine. I mean, if you think
Potentially.
about it, look who they lost to the 4 years in a row.
Yeah. All they got to do is just not play the Commanders and fucking Mark Rippon.
Yeah, we'll bring him out of retirement or from the grave. I don't know if he's dead or not.
I think he. No, he's still alive.
But no, I mean, if we dude, if we can get him, if he does fall like Levis and we can get him in the second,
I don't see
I
that
don't see that
happening.
happening. I don't see it happening. But man, that'd be fucking neat.
It would be pretty cool for whoever got that. That would
Fuck it.
mean that
Chicago's just gonna take Williams at 1 and May at 9. Fuck it.
Battle it
it might
out.
not be the
Trade
might
the other
not be
one
the
away.
worst idea in the world, because then you just, whichever one sucks, nobody knows they suck. You just trade them away.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, say, oh no, one of them's right in the bench. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Somebody's got to sit. Shit.
Yeah, you can't start 2 quarterbacks.
It's like all of a sudden Drake May is playing over Caleb Williams. I feel like if that happened, everyone would know that it's because Caleb Williams sucks, so they
Yeah.
wouldn't be so keen to trade for him. Um, yeah, we talked a lot about the quarterbacks being drafted and shit. So obviously that means that the Packers aren't in that conversation. I don't foresee them. Although, hell, they've done it before. They might draft a quarterback while they already have one. Who knows? He's not in his 30s yet, so it wouldn't make
Yeah,
much sense.
Love's
Hey, go
about
get that.
12 years younger than Rodgers was whenever we drafted one. It didn't make a whole lot of
Right.
sense then, but no,
Go ahead and get
I've
that.
been. I really feel like maybe I've been seeing a lot of Cooper DeJean going our way, maybe, or definitely going corner. I know there was another corner, I can't remember his name, that we're maybe going. I've been seeing a lot of offensive tackle, and I feel like our O line was. I think our O line was like top 5 in the league last year. So I don't. I mean, we
Solid.
did lose
Bakhtiari
Ryan.
just retired though, or well, he got
No,
released or however
we
that.
dropped, but he didn't
Yeah,
play but 2 games last year.
right. I don't know.
I mean, Bakhtiari hasn't.
I got you guys
been.
taking the tackle.
You
What's
got us
that?
taking the tackle.
I got you guys taking the tackle.
I would.
Get that
It's a
O-line up.
really deep tackle class.
It
I
is.
could definitely see them going that route. I could see them where they're picking. Maybe one of the edge rushers falls to them. Maybe one of the defensive tackles falls to them. But with it being a deep tackle class, I kind of think they're going to go tackle.
Yeah. I mean, it might be in my terms, it might be a little, or in the experts' terms, it might be a reach. For the tackle I have them taking, but you can never go wrong with an offensive lineman out of Georgia. I mean,
You talking about Mims?
yep.
Yeah, he might rise to the rankings after his performance at the combine and shit. Like he looks like he looks like a fucking tackle. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
looks like the perfect tackle, and he moves like that. Like he might end up
I mean,
being taken a
he may
lot
go top
sooner than we
15.
think. It's
I mean,
fine.
because
I could see him potentially going top 10, 10 being to the Jets because
I
they
could see
have
it.
tackles, but they're older and they might just because they didn't really have that big a need that's going to be addressed for them in the draft. They've done a lot of shit in free agency, so they could really kind of just do whatever they want there or trade back. I've seen a lot of Brock Bowers going to them. If he
Oh
doesn't
God.
go to them, I think he might end up going to he might end up falling far enough. The Packers might have a decision to make.
I I feel like they really like the combo, the 1-2 combo of Musgrave and Kraft, though.
Yeah, but so the thing is with Brock Bowers is like when you watch his tape, he shows you more than just lining up at tight end and getting open. He he's a guy that you could potentially just line up out wide. He has that kind
Hmm.
of athleticism and ability. So
Hmm.
he would bring so much to the table. The Packers might seriously have to consider that because,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if he is there, the value of any receiver that's already, that's left on the board might not be as high as him. And they might decide that they want a guy who's going to be their number one target for their new stud fucking quarterback.
Honestly, there being so many good receivers in this draft is probably an advantage for us because I don't really, I
Massive
mean,
advantage.
because we don't really need a receiver. I feel like we have 1 through 4 solid, maybe even 5, like good receivers. None of them so far have shown some of them have shown flashes of being maybe a true number one, but they're not anywhere near that like great tier level yet. But
They're not Devontae Adams.
no, God no.
Overrated.
Yeah, he was
But
overrated until he got to Vegas. Now he's the best.
I could see maybe if we go if DeJean is there drafting him, and then we also have the Jets' second round pick,
Yeah.
so maybe going tackle there since it is a deeper tackle class.
They could go receiver or tackle at their second round pick and probably end up with a pretty good one. It's kind of
Yep.
crazy right now.
Mhm.
Super deep.
Honest, the positions we're naming right now, tackle, wide receiver, cornerback, they're all deep this year.
Hmm.
I mean, usually we're talking cornerbacks, and I mean, if you don't get the top three, you're better off sitting, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year, I mean, this year I could see upwards of 6 taken in the first 50 picks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just this draft class is one of the best since I've really been paying attention to the draft more. This is one of the better ones, if not the best one that I have
And
seen.
it could honestly, in 5 years from now, we could be talking that it rivals the 2017 draft.
We could be talking that it's just like the 2021 draft where everybody turned out to suck apparently at quarterback.
That is true.
Nothing will be as
So,
bad as 2013.
Was
I
that
think it
the
was
Eric
2013.
Fisher
So
draft?
yeah,
the
here's hoping. Yeah, it
EJ
was.
Manuel and all them.
Yeah, EJ Manuel creeping his way into the first round was
Tell
kind of
you,
crazy.
I tell you what,
That's
though, I know I'm fast forwarding a little bit, but next year's draft class, whoo, doggy. If you don't get a quarterback and you need one this year, you're shit out of luck for at least 2 years.
but the thing is, you never know. Nobody saw Jaden
No,
Daniels coming into his
no,
own this year. Nobody saw Joe Burrow a few years back doing what I mean, because he went from like a kind of an afterthought at Ohio State to like kind of looked like just a guy, and then all of a sudden he's throwing like 60 touchdowns.
yeah,
You never really know.
yeah, yeah. It's just I saw ESPN's ranking of the top 10 quarterbacks
Yeah.
in college football next year.
Mhm.
I've seen all of them play. They're not great.
You don't like Shador Sanders?
No,
I don't
no.
know. I think he could be good. I think he could be good. I think he
I
might
don't
not
like
be worth
him.
the.
I don't like Carson Beck.
Okay.
The only one I think that is going to be, I mean, the kid out of Mizzou. I don't remember his name because Mizzou they're not relevant. He's not bad. Um, the Tennessee's got themselves a nice freshman. Well, he's a sophomore now, but he was a freshman last year. He came in last couple games. I mean, he showed flashes of being great. So I think in a couple of years he'll take college football by storm. Bama always produces semi decent quarterbacks at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you had former Oklahoma Sooner quarterback Dylan Gabriel in the top five, and he's dog shit. So, I mean, I feel like this year is going to be a very rough year for quarterbacks, or next year is going to be a very rough year for quarterbacks getting drafted.
I've
You
heard such things. Yeah.
very well might see Quinn Ewers out of Texas being the first quarterback off the board next year, and that's
In the
saying
second
something
round.
because he's no better than Sam Ellinger a
No.
couple of years ago.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, like I said, you never really know, but I have heard that, because I don't pay attention to college football, but from what I've heard, like one of the big reasons why so many teams are so gung ho about getting a quarterback this year is because this looks like the cream of the crop, especially compared to what's coming next year.
Yeah,
And to that end, I do think that I think there's going to be at least five quarterbacks in the first round. I think that the big question mark right now is Michael Penix, who,
yeah,
full disclosure, watching his tape, I like him. I think he's, I think he's really good.
yep,
Um,
same.
Hmm.
but the thing that blew me away is he ran a sub 4.5 on his 40-yard dash because the guy never runs.
Yeah,
You never see him run. He is a statue, and he doesn't look good when he tries to break the pocket and make things happen. He looks awkward as fuck. But
yep,
apparently, he's a really good athlete. So I don't know. I see arm strength. I see deep ball accuracy. I think the big problem for him is injury history, and he's the second oldest guy out of the quarterback class.
yep.
I don't know.
He, he's older than he's older than Sam Howell.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, um, but no, I like Penix a lot. I personally I got him going to Denver at 12.
So from what I've seen, Denver's either going to trade up and try to get whoever falls between McCarthy or May. And if they can't do that, then I've heard that I just keep hearing Sean Payton and Bo Nix. Just
Yeah, me too.
eh, I. The
I
thing
could
is,
go ahead.
what you got?
No,
The only thing I was gonna say is like when I watch Bo Nix, like everything I see in their offense is line of scrimmage or behind for the most part. Like there's a few plays where he's throwing it down the field, but almost everything is just it's all so very spread concept where it's quick hitters here, quick hitter here, quick hitter here, screen, just very to me that's always harder to evaluate what a quarter like because it's one option. You're throwing it to this guy in this spot, and that's the play. Versus, can he run a pro style offense? Can he drop back? Can he scan the field, make a read, and fire? Like I saw a little bit of that, but you just didn't get to see a lot of it because of the offense. To be fair, I said the same shit about C.J. Stroud. I didn't know whether he was going to be good or not because the type of offense they run was so conducive to him just step, throw. There's the guy. You know what I mean? There's I don't
Now,
know what to say.
did you watch any of Bo Nix's tape from Auburn?
No, no,
I
I
feel
don't
like
really.
I feel like before he transferred to Oregon, he had a little bit more of that actually scanning the field. I didn't watch a whole lot of Bo Nix in Auburn, um, but I feel like from what little I did kind of see him taking his time, scanning the field, weighing his options.
Mhm.
But to what I was going to say a little bit ago, Bo Nix in the situation that he's in right now, I very well could see another Daniel Jones situation.
Yeah,
Literally
yeah.
to the same team at the same pick.
Wait, so you think Bo Nix might even go at 6, like where the
The
Giants are?
Giants.
Wow, interesting. I
Because
have not seen
there
anybody reaching for Nix that hard.
there are a lot of, there's a lot of these teams that are high on Bo Nix.
Right.
There are some teams that are higher on Bo Nix than Drake May.
Yeah,
And
I can see that.
but I just I don't see I don't see Bo Nix doing anything more in the NFL than a Colt McCoy.
Yeah,
And
I don't
it
know.
would warm my fucking heart if the Giants took Bo Nix at 6.
It would be
I
very
think
hilarious.
I
It
think
would be,
that's
yeah,
more of a left field DraftKings plus 10,000 odds. I'm gonna throw $1 on it kind of reach there, but I think I think I think teams are overhyping Bo Nix.
yeah,
But I'm also not putting the whole Bo Nix top 10 thing to rest. I could
right,
see it, unfortunately.
yeah.
So I'm
Um,
not a Bo Nix fan at all.
I like that his name almost kind of sounds like boner, like when you say it real fast together. Bonix.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
I like that Penix
Penix,
is penis, but with an X. So that's
yeah,
cool.
this is the most sexualized draft class I think I've ever seen.
Fuck yeah.
And we got a guy named Kool Aid. We're gonna hear Roger Goodell say Kool Aid McKinstry,
Kool-Aid McKinstry,
and
Alabama.
I'm here for that, man. I
Yeah,
I would love if Washington somehow, some way pulled off getting Kool Aid also, because I'd get his jersey in a heartbeat.
yeah. All
But
right.
Be ordering it on draft night.
You just got to get Kool-Aid at the
yeah,
nameplate.
uh,
Heck yeah,
clip
it
the
is.
no audio.
Your boy over here just started up a fresh Rockies franchise with the GM
Oh,
contracts off.
fuck yeah, he
We're
did.
gonna we're gonna win some shit here.
That's how you got to
Oh,
do it. Um, so real quick, I guess we'll just kind of roll with the punches, I guess, because Zoom it costs money apparently now, and I ain't about to pay money for that shit. Fuck that. So we're we're running with it. Fuck it. What did I want to talk about? There was something specific that I wanted to ask you guys or talk to you guys about. Oh, one of my favorite things that I've been thinking about over this offseason with the NFL is quarterback situations and how they're changing over and over again now. I think you're going to start seeing that more, and I think a lot of it has to do. You alluded to Daniel Jones. Uh, the Giants gave him what like a 4-year, 5-year deal with 45 million a year or some shit, which is just
yeah, they paid that man for no reason.
They decided that they would rather pay a quarterback who threw 15 fucking touchdowns in 17 games. 15 touchdowns. They pay him $45 million, and they could not pay Saquon Barkley 3 or 4 year deal, 13 million a year. That was
Yep.
just outrageous.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they really I don't know what the hell's going on in the
So
Giants office.
They
like
make some decisions. They may not be
they
good ones, but they make decisions.
do you remember when they traded or they moved they picked Daniel Jones in the top 10 and everybody, including who was it that shit all over him on Twitter for it? It was like a current quarterback at the time was like LOL, like are you fucking serious? Like, it's crazy that they drafted him and then they did nothing to build around him, and they finally gave him a good coach, and all they did was run the ball, and he occasionally, very occasionally, would throw the ball, and the Giants said, "Yes, sign us up for that. $45 million a year. He reminds us of Eli. That's why we drafted him at fucking whatever 7 or 8 or whatever he was.
No, who's 6?
He was 6. They picked him
Yep.
fucking sixth overall. That's crazy.
Yep, because that year Washington had 15, and there was a lot of talks that we were going to draft Daniel Jones because the Giants were going to take Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace. And I remember I was over at Jace's house watching the draft, and the Giants ended up taking Daniel Jones, and I was happy. Um, Not necessarily happy with Dwayne Haskins, but had to do what we had to do. And yeah, I remember watching Daniel Jones get drafted at 6, and I laughed my ass off.
You
Because
know, the
who the fuck?
irony is Daniel Jones would have been the better option for the Manders.
Yeah, but
I mean, Dwayne Haskins didn't really have much of a chance. That's a really no disrespect. I'm sure you're aware, but that's a historically poorly run franchise for the last 20
yeah,
years.
yeah, no, it's not great. Yeah, um, don't remind me, but I'm hoping it's not another 20 years before we
Yeah.
get some people without their heads in their ass. But yeah, yeah, no, Dwayne Haskins really was just a Hello Kitty band-aid on a gashing wound.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't have much of a chance.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know that he was ever going to be great, but like, fuck, yeah, that was a bad place to land.
It was. Any quarterback would have probably. I mean, I know if I was a quarterback and if I've gotten drafted by the Washington Commanders, I probably would have said, you know what, I changed my mind. I kind of retired, dog.
Yeah, and
Except now we have whole new ownership. I mean,
yeah,
we ran everything out the door, and
it's got
I
to be
think,
better.
yeah. I mean, I think the only way up is the only way is up from here.
Yeah,
Can't get
they've
much
been
worse.
down
I
way at the floor. Even if they just like take 2 steps upward, that's
Yeah,
better.
I think bringing in these guys who are proven. I mean, that defensive end we got from Dallas, he had I think he had 7. It's either 7 or 11 sacks. 11 doesn't sound right. I think he had 7 sacks, and he was a backup.
Yeah,
He didn't play every snap.
no,
You give him snaps regularly, he's gonna produce. Um,
Quinn knows he can
Probably
feed his
better than
off his
Chase
defense.
Youngs.
So yeah,
yeah, we got new offensive line. Absolutely love the signing of Austin Eckler for so cheap.
really. I
We
mean,
got
yeah,
him
yeah, I
two
guess
years,
with the price tag, yeah,
2 years, 11 mil.
yeah. That's it.
I it's a prove it, kind of like a
yeah,
prove it deal. I mean,
right.
The most we're gonna pay him. I think we pay him $4 million this year and then $7 million next year.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they can get out of it next year. So it's really more of a 1 year deal. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't hate. I love Austin Eckler as a player. I think he might be a little past his best days, but as a pass catcher out of the backfield, and a pass pro third down type back, like, you're not going to get much better than him. So, I
No, I
think this
mean
is a smart move.
It'll
you're
probably be
not.
better than Gibson.
Oh yeah.
Hey, hold on now. Okay. Gibson was he was pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie.
But I mean, as a you're gonna be bringing in a brand new quarterback, brand
Yeah.
new into the league, who
Hmm.
realistically, I mean, out of the free agents, who would you want to be your check down guy? Out of
Saquon
all,
Barkley.
well, okay, yeah, obviously.
Todd Gurley.
There it is.
Todd
That's
Gurley.
I
Yeah,
was waiting.
he's out there. He's like 28.
Yeah, dude, he's
He's
younger than
fresh.
Henry.
He's fresh.
Uh, yeah, I mean, if I'm a rookie quarterback and I'm coming into this league fucking horny, then I I would like my check down guy to be Eckler or Barkley, yes, but obviously though that wasn't in the cards for us. Which at the price we got Eckler versus the price the Eagles got Barkley, I'll take Eckler every day, twice on Tuesdays.
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
and he was
All
playing
right.
hurt last
So
year. He was playing hurt last year. You know,
sure. Yeah,
he's healthy.
yeah.
He's healthy.
I think when he broke away on a check down pass against the Packers,
Yeah, he hit
Eckler did.
like 13 mile an hour. Not a
Yeah,
big
he hit
deal.
13 miles an hour, which I
Not a
mean,
big deal.
granted, is faster than all three of us could run combined. But
Hey, hold on. I've been working out, bro. Like,
Hey, so
see
have I.
that? Look at that.
I
No,
hit the gym today at lunch.
I'm the slowest human being. I can't bike 13 miles an hour. So like that's not a thing. Uh, so
Downhill.
you mentioned Todd Gurley, and I'm going to use that as a segue to talk about the reason I brought up Daniel Jones and that contract situation is I think there's a lot of teams that are looking at that, specifically that, but you could also say Cleveland and obviously Denver. Uh, High-priced quarterbacks, it's a huge gamble right now. And if
Yes.
if you're not sure that that guy is good enough to carry your carcass of a team to championship levels, should you even pay that guy? And I think you're going to start seeing more of those kind of decisions get made. It just happened with Justin Fields. We lucked into having the number one overall pick, so it made it a lot easier of a decision for them. Um, if they had the third overall pick, I think they probably would have stuck with Fields. But um, the guys that I'm thinking of specifically are Tua Tagovailoa in Miami, and while to a lesser extent, there's a third guy, but Jared Goff with the Lions, and then Dak Prescott. So these are guys who are all about to hit contracts. Like if you're gonna keep them, you're gonna have to pay them, and all of them are miles better than anything that Daniel Jones has ever shown to be. And honestly, I think all of them you could make a case you'd rather have than Kirk Cousins coming off an Achilles, and he just got paid what 40 million a year or some shit like that. Um, do you guys think that any of those guys are the long-term answer for their teams?
No. Golf,
maybe Goff.
golf, yes. I mean,
Maybe
golf just took to the NFC Championship,
he did. He did.
and
Rex
and
Rex Grossman took us to the Super Bowl.
damn straight he did. The original RG3.
Oh, RG8, baby.
Uh, golf just took the Lions to the NFC Championship,
He
and
did.
if it wasn't for their defense, sucking.
Yep.
They were up what 24-7 at halftime.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
They were one half of football away from the fucking Super Bowl.
So, but let me ask you this. Did Jared Goff take the Lions to the Super Bowl, or did the Lions offense take Jared or to the NFC Championship, or did the Lions offense carry Jared Goff to that point? Now, my reasoning is, what does Jared Goff have in Detroit? He has a great running game, a two-headed attack with what's his name, Gibbs and Montgomery.
Montgomery.
Really, really good O line, good receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown, a great young tight end. Sam Laporta, good head coach. Lots of stuff going for him. We've seen him take the Rams to the Super Bowl, right? By that logic, he didn't. We know he didn't take them, but that's the perception, right? He's the quarterback. He got them there. They still moved on from him and made the trade to get Stafford and immediately won a Super Bowl because they felt like Stafford could bring them over the top. The Lions are not in position right now to say, oh, no, we can just move on from any old quarterback and get a new one because the Lions, up until Stafford, struggled forever to find any answer to that, just like the Bears. You know, quarterbacks don't grow on trees. So it's a huge question. You're talking about a guy who's, I think he's 31. He's going to be 31. Not old,
Goff,
but
Goff is a year older than Mahomes, or is he same age as Mahomes?
he might be. I
no.
don't know. He's pushing
When was
30 at least.
when was Mahomes
This
drafted?
Mahomes was
2017.
17. I think Goff was 16.
Okay, so yeah, I guess so.
He is 29 years old. He's
Yes.
29. He turns 30 on October 14th. That's his birthday. Um,
So I think
yeah.
I personally think that I think Goff. I think the Lions extend Goff. If they don't extend Goff, then I think that the Lions are my pick to take Joe Milton
Okay.
because I think Milton will excel in Detroit. I mean, he's got a fucking cannon. He's got the weapons around him. Uh, give him an extra year to heal up that ACL injury that he had. Yeah, I think Detroit, if they don't think Goff is the long-term answer, I think that they take Joe Milton later in the draft, and I could see Joe Milton being pretty damn good up there in Detroit. As
Okay.
for Tua and Dak, no, I
That's
I think
interesting.
I think they walk away. I think Tua's gonna. I think Tua's gonna want too much for the little he's produced.
The little he's produced, he was the leading passer for yards this year, I believe.
Where'd they
He
where'd that
had
get him?
what's that?
Where'd that get him? That was a round one exit against the Chiefs.
Against the Chiefs. You could argue against the eventual Super Bowl champion in
That
Kansas
was
City in that weather. You could
against
say
Killer defense.
against
So
that defense with a bunch of injuries to their offensive line. I mean, these are all
you're
excuses, but they're also
I
true.
I feel like we've seen that narrative before, and with a certain guy, I don't know if you guys remember him or not. His name's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I feel like we've kind of had the same narrative with him. Um, I just I feel like also the past concussions to Tua could be an issue.
Yeah.
I think Tua has a better shot of staying in Miami than Dak does in Dallas. Because I
That's
feel
fair.
like it's going to boil down to who does Jerry Jones want to pay more? Does he want to pay Dak or does he want to pay CeeDee Lamb? We could have CeeDee Lamb as a free agent next year.
CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons will both be due a big fat paycheck very soon. And when you already have a cap hit, the cap hit for Dak Prescott this year, I believe, is $60 million.
Correct.
So he's going to want something comparable. And the thing is, like when you look at the stats, it's kind of hard to argue that, Dak Prescott isn't at least among the best quarterbacks in the league. It's like Tua. Tua, I'm looking at his numbers right now. He passed for 4,600 yards, 29 touchdowns, and completed 69.3% of his passes this year. Those are pretty fucking good numbers. It helps when you're in a system that's being run by Mike McDaniel, who I do think is a very, very good head coach, good offensive mind. And it also helps when you're throwing the ball to guys who are the fastest fucking people in the NFL, in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And not only are they fast, but they are functionally fast. Like,
Yep.
you get them the ball in space, it's over. Throw the ball over the top. If there's even a hint of a one-on-one coverage with either of those guys, they'll tear you apart. And they have a great running game. I mean, it's a really great system. It's kind of the same to me. It's the same argument with Jared Goff, except you're talking about a player who is, let's see, he is 26 years old versus pushing 30, and I think the prevailing thought is that they're going to end up keeping him, but they're already in cap hell.
Yes.
And the question is, can they afford that? Because if they do that, then they're likely going to either have to lose Jalen Waddle or get rid of Tyreek Hill.
Well, Tyreek's contract up after this year?
Um,
I thought he was
no,
only on.
I don't think so. I
I
think
think
he's
he's
got a
got
couple
2
years
more
left.
years.
Yeah.
I think he's got 2. But there's also talk Tyreek Hill has said that he might retire after this contract's done with.
Yeah, homie wants to go do porn.
Yeah, that's a possibility. So like that being out there is a big question for him. They've already paid guys like Bradley Chubb a big
Yep.
fat stack of cash. Jalen Ramsey they brought in, he's big fat contract. There's a lot of money on that on a lot of those guys, and a lot of them are older. This is a win now situation. And the question is, can Tua, like, is he, again, the big question becomes, is he good enough to carry your team to championship relevance, especially in a loaded AFC where just in that division you got to face off against, Josh Allen, a potentially healthy and good Aaron Rodgers. And then you turn around and you go look at the West, and you've got, Justin Herbert if Harbaugh can figure shit out there. Obviously Patrick Mahomes doing his thing. I mean, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. I mean, it's
DJ Stroud.
CJ fucking Stroud. Hell, Anthony Richardson, if he can stay healthy, he looked pretty fucking good too.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is still not a quarterback to sleep on.
Right. So the question is,
We
at
just
this
named
point,
like
again,
I mean, the AFC is night and day, way more loaded than the NFC.
way, way,
Like
more loaded.
the NFC, you can kind of predict who's going to be in the NFC Championship. Granted,
Yeah,
you
the fucking Niners.
couldn't have told me that the Lions are going to be in the NFC fucking Championship this year. That's not the point. But like,
I kind of saw it.
you kind of know who's going to no one. I don't think anyone could have predicted that.
Could have predicted
I mean-
that. I thought they were going to be good. I didn't think they were going to go be that good. I didn't think they were going to push for
I
a
feel
potential
like they
Super
were
Bowl
a-
appearance.
A shoe in to win the division. And I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Also, granted, it should have probably been the Eagles if they didn't have their collapse. But the way they were playing,
They got
probably
hurt.
the Eagles.
They got
What a
hurt.
collapse. What a collapse.
And
That was
it made
historic.
me fucking happy. But
Why?
you know what made me happier? The Green Bay Packers beating the Dallas Cowboys at home.
I didn't like that. I didn't
Oh,
like
I
that at
loved
all.
it.
That sucked. I don't like
I
it when they
loved
do
it.
good. I want
I
them to
love.
fail.
Yeah, but then they got whooped. They got whooped.
We didn't get whooped. We won for 58 minutes of that game.
Still lost.
Yeah.
Still
Still
lost. I agree 100%. We lost. But for how young our fucking team is,
Granted, yeah, you guys have an
Oh,
average age of, I think it was an average age of what, 26?
some shit like
26,
that.
and that's including with Bakhtiari, Devondre Campbell, and I mean, there's what Kenny Clark's upwards of 30. Aaron Jones is about 30. So
Okay,
counting like
That must
like
suck being a Bears
okay.
fan, dog.
Hey, no, it's cool being a Bears fan. It's actually pretty neat. Sometimes we get to reminisce on the '85 Bears, a team that happened before I was even alive.
Hey,
Sometimes we get to talk about that.
I'm not even gonna cap. I used to have a Chicago Bears bedspread,
Hey,
but
that's the way to do it.
it's because Devin Hester is my favorite player, and my mom used to work with a lady whose son was the fullback for the Bears.
Oh shit. Really? Which
Yes.
one? Do you remember?
Oh, fuck, dude.
Was it
Uh,
that same team? Because if it was that same team, it's Jason McKee. Um,
yeah, I think his name was Jason.
oh, you know what? It was probably the dude from Illinois, Jason Davis, maybe.
Yeah, he was from Illinois. Yeah, he went to
He was only
Illinois.
there for like a year or some shit. But yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
but,
Jason Davis.
yeah, yeah. My mom, like, he in the off season he'd come visit his mom at work, and my mom would sit there and fucking have a conversation with him and shit. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Cool. I'm basically
But yeah,
best friends with Walter Payton's son. I did a podcast with him one time, so that was cool.
not a big deal or anything.
Yeah, not a big deal.
just
I hope my
celebrity
mic's
basically.
Oh goddamn.
Speaking of Cowboys and losing, and Dak Prescott is like it's a done deal, right? Like it's very clear that the Cowboys have kind of wanted to move on from him for at least the last couple of years. You have to figure this is the last ride for Dak and probably Mike McCarthy, if I had to guess. Uh, like
Last year should have been the last ride for McCarthy.
Yeah,
I,
100%.
it's hard to argue against a guy who's consistently getting you there, though. You know what I mean? Like I think McCarthy sucks. Like you have to suck as a coach to get to be handed a team like the Packers had with, Aaron Rodgers throwing to Jordy Nelson and, Greg
Donald
Jennings
Driver,
or
Greg
whoever. Yeah, all
Jennings,
these guys. And then you turn around and on defense, they had that 2010 Packers defense was
we
fucking
had
insane when they won the
Charles
championship.
Woodson, Clay Matthews, AJ Hawk. We had Nick Collins.
They
Uh,
were loaded. And yet they come away with a guy who I think right now is the top five all-time quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, and he's got one Super Bowl ring and one appearance. And it was his worst, it was arguably his worst season as a starter, and they won the championship. I don't
no
know,
one even
whatever.
thought we should have been in the Super Bowl that year.
Couldn't have.
They shouldn't have been fucked them.
And I mean, yeah. And then
They
for
did
about 10
lose.
years after that, we choke after choke after choke.
Yeah. Eh,
I
it is what it is.
I think McCarthy's overrated.
I think he sucks. I don't really have
It's
I
kind of
can't prove it because his record's good, but I think
it's
he
kind of the
sucks.
same thing. It's kind of the same thing with Dallas, though. I mean, look at
Yeah,
all the great players they have on that team, and you go
right.
and lose in the first round.
Yep,
I mean, yeah,
to the Packers.
it's always the Packers. It always just circles back to Green Bay. The Packers have
It's
more
like a
playoff.
circle.
The Packers have more playoff wins at AT&T Stadium than the Cowboys do.
Yeah, since it was built.
That's
Like, I mean,
that's
come
that
on.
would be hilarious if I didn't hate the Packers. It would be really funny.
It
I
is
could
fun.
see how people
I
would think it's funny, but I
It
don't
is.
think it's funny because fuck the
I will
Packers.
forever remember watching the game whenever was it Jared Cook caught
Jared.
that pass to set up that Mason Crosby game winning field goal, and they went down and scored, and it was 31. I think it was no, it was 31-29 or 30-28 or something like that.
Yeah,
And it was the guy on Snapchat posted a picture, and he was a Packers fan surrounded by all Cowboys fans, and he took a picture and had the score and the time. He was like, "It is hilarious that they're celebrating right now, but about to give Aaron Rodgers the ball back."
They scored with a
yeah.
minute. and Rodgers drove down the field for Crosby to kick that game-winning field goal.
Dude, it's so having been victim to that anytime Aaron Rodgers was within striking distance of beating us, it didn't matter if there was 18 seconds left on the clock and they were on their own 1 yard line. I I did not trust any lead ever. We the Bears beat the Packers like 3 times in Aaron Rodgers' entire fucking career with Green Bay. And each one of those, it didn't matter what was happening. I didn't trust it. Like I remember when we first got Khalil Mack, and we were all so excited. And in the first half, we were fucking him up. And Aaron Rodgers went out of the game. He was hurt, and Mack had a touchdown. He was kicking everybody's ass. It was his first game there. I was like,
Wasn't it
yeah,
23-3?
yeah, some shit
I
like
thought it was
that. And
24
that
nothing.
motherfucker, as soon as I saw that motherfucker come hobbling out of the fucking locker room, like on one leg, and they're like, "Oh, he's gonna play," I was like, "Fuck, we're gonna lose this fucking game." And sure enough, son of a bitch fucking beat us again.
Wasn't that the year that the year after you guys lost the double doink?
That was the year we lost on the double doink.
The
It was
year, okay.
2018. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, it was week 1.
yeah.
It
I
was literally
remember watching that game, and I remember the post game interview. Rodgers just was on. He was on quite a bit for sure.
oh
Yeah.
dude, he was
Knowing now,
so
he probably
drunk.
went back there and did some
Ayahuasca, baby.
shamans. Yeah, he probably did some stuff back there, and I
Drinking a
mean, he looked
shaman's
fried.
piss.
Yeah,
Yeah, fuck Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
Rodgers.
I think that should be the sentiment that we could go ahead and mostly just kind of leave things on is fuck Aaron Rodgers because fuck that guy.
it's
Yeah,
just
fuck
like a
Um,
group chat that says "fuck the Packers."
yeah,
yeah,
fuck
fuck
the
the Packers.
Packers. But I'll always hate the Cowboys more. I always remember that, Ricky.
Yeah, I hate the Cowboys a lot, just not as much as the Packers. I hate the Cowboys because I know so many Cowboys fans. I think we all
Same.
know so many Cowboys fans, and the only reason they exist is because they were good in the '90s, and like now
Half
they're
the Cowboys
doomed to
fans,
walk the earth eternally as they suck.
half the Cowboys fans I know weren't even around in the '90s, and if they
Yeah,
were late '90s like me.
Silly. Well, but see, the thing is, they were good, and people knew they were good. Didn't matter they didn't win after that. It was like, well, they were good. I know at least that they
Yeah,
were good. These are people that get to choose their own team. I didn't choose this shit. I was born into it, molded by it. I
I
hate it.
chose mine. I chose
yeah.
mine
I chose the Packers when I was like 6 years old.
Yeah, because
because
they were good. Fuck you.
my
I don't
father's
even
a, my,
know.
my father's actually a Cowboys fan.
I don't
So,
even know why I chose the Packers. It's just I actually at first kind of wanted to be a Steelers fan, and then I ended up choosing the Packers. And then come to find out a couple years, well, it was probably like 4 years after they ended up playing each other in the Super Bowl. But I mean, when the Packers were bad the first year, I ended up being a fan. I think they only had like 6 or 7 wins that first season. And I think it was the first year Rodgers started.
uh, okay, sure, whatever. You lucked into it. You're worse. Okay, I thought just being born into being a Bears fan was bad enough. Choosing to be a Washington fan.
Yeah, I mean,
Dan
Yeah, it's
Snyder
a little
era.
depressing.
I went from the dog shit Rams to the dog shit Redskins to now the dog shit Commanders. I mean, I'm batting 1,000 on dog shit teams.
Hell yeah, dude.
And
I
look, now
mean,
you're a Blues fan, Cardinals fan,
yeah, Cardinals suck, Blues suck. Let's keep it going.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oklahoma. I mean,
Let me just start rooting for the soccer team real quick. They'll suck too.
Start rooting for the Battlehawks, man.
I mean, the only team I've been consistently good with is the Warriors.
Yeah. Wait, you're a Warriors fan?
didn't they
Yeah,
just lose in the play-in?
yeah.
They
Don't
did. They
remind
just
me.
lost last night. The fucking Kings smoked them.
And actually,
Holy
By
during
shit.
like 20.
during this session here, I got a notification on Twitter that Steph Curry has unfollowed the Warriors on Instagram. So that's great. He's the only person I've actually bought shoes from
You didn't buy the
for the past.
Yeezys?
That ooh,
That's
word is-
crazy. That's
Um,
nuts.
but yeah, I just collectively pick bad teams to be a fan of. But at least I can beat the bandwagon allegations.
I mean,
Yeah.
there is no band, there's no wagon. There's just
Exactly.
shit. You're standing in a pile of shit.
Yeah, I mean the wheels fell off for Washington back when RG3 retore his ACL against the Seahawks in the playoffs.
I liked him so much. I thought he was going to be a fucking stud forever.
Hated his ass in college.
Yeah,
He made Oklahoma's life hell.
I'm sure he did.
But
I remember him catching a pass. That was fucking. Anyway,
but yeah, no, I collectively pick bad teams. And like my buddy Rhett, I mean he's been a Dolphins fan his whole life.
that sucks.
He just now knows what it feels like to be good.
Kinda good.
Gets to
Yeah.
watch a fun team every week. That's for damn sure.
I mean,
Hey, shit! They put up 70
don't-
fucking points in a game this year. That was pretty fucking
Yeah.
cool.
I'll say this. You guys have kind of this feeling in a way, since you guys have, I know Jacob does. I mean, his team grabbed the ring. I don't know what it feels like to be close, at least in the football aspect of things, in the NFL. Oklahoma came close a couple years in college. Obviously, the Cardinals have won World Series since my lifetime.
Yeah,
Two
I
of them.
I witnessed the Blues Stanley Cup championship. But as far as the NFL, yeah, the Rams won one, but I was fucking 3.
were you really? Holy shit! That makes
Yeah.
me feel really fucking old.
Yeah,
That's
I was.
mean.
I remember them losing to the Patriots in the Super Bowl twice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like the second time, fuck them.
Yeah.
But like as long
Fuck
I
Kroenke.
I don't know what it feels like to get out of the first fucking round of the playoffs with Washington.
Hey, you guys almost beat Brady.
Hey, Taylor
Yeah.
Heineke always hold a special place in my heart.
That dude is a
Always.
stud.
I can't
The
even buy a
Lizard.
damn Washington jersey right. I bought a fucking Darius Geis jersey and he comes out and beats women.
Fuck, man. Way to go.
Like I don't get it. NFL bane of my existence.
So the real question is, why do you hate women?
I don't. I actually love women a lot.
Oh, sure. Buying
That's what
Darius
they all
Geis
say.
jersey. First off, why are you buying a Darius Geis jersey? What are you doing? Why would you do that to yourself?
I liked him, man. I liked him. I like Darius Geis.
At least Ray Rice was good before he started decking women in the fucking elevators, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Geis didn't really give himself a chance. I mean, rookie year, fucking
Oh.
tore his ACL in preseason, and then yeah, I don't. I just suck. I think that's the popular vote here is Nick Stack suck at life. Well, I think we'll just go with that.
It happens. It happens to the best of us. I suck at life worse than most people. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm up there on that tier list.
You're getting married next year.
yeah, fuck
Fuckheads.
you.
I'm gonna get off here and play with myself. Woo.
Hell yeah, boy! I can't
might
lie. I
happen
had
to me
sex.
too.
I have a girlfriend now. I get laid sometimes. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's wild. That's
This
why
is
there's
mine.
shoes. Those ain't mine. I have like one shoes. That's it.
I have one pair of shoes. My toes are coming out of them.
Fuck yeah, man. It's free sandals.
Fuck yeah, dude.
They're like it's almost like Crocs. You can do sport mode, you can do lounge mode.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Jack of all trades.
You probably could sell them on swap for a good penny.
I'll buy them right now for a penny. Um, I guess yeah, we'll go ahead and shut her down. Thank you guys for dedicating so much time to talking to me about this stuff. Like I have a podcast regularly with a couple of people that actually don't know anything about sports, and it's a sports centric podcast. So it's terrible. It's awful, but it does make me giggle when we make it. And so to talk to people that actually know some shit's fun. Even though one of those people that like you're a Packers fan, you can't know that much. You know what I mean? Like you guys wear giant blocks of fake cheese on your head and like, look at our personality. Like, oh, okay.
I
neat.
got 2 of them.
I actually have one.
I have one too. I call it my toilet. I shit in it. That's the only thing I do in there is shit in it. All right, yeah,
It's
we'll
just a
go ahead and
reminder
call
to
it.
what the Packers do to the Bears twice a year.
No, not anymore. We got Caleb Williams, baby. He's gonna write on his fingernails. He's gonna like fuck Pack or whatever.
Fuck
Instead of
love.
fuck Utah. Fuck
Fuck love.
love.
And guess what? I'll do
Fuck
the
love.
same
We in
thing.
our hate days.